Hey YouTubers, Small Master 1 here, and how you guys doing today? Today I got a video for you guys on how to do an oil change on this 2000 on a Dodge Dakota. This is a 2000. This is the project I was talking to you guys about. So yeah, today I'll be showing you guys how to do an engine oil flush, and then another video I'll be making is how to change your plugs on it. So yeah, so I'll show you guys how to do an oil change. I'll be doing a flush, but this is pretty much the same oil change and an oil flush. Just an oil flush, you have a different step. So for an oil flush, if you guys are going to do like an engine flush, first I'm going to be using some of this Clean Flow 5-minute engine flush cleaner, and the reason is because this engine sat for about a year, so I want to get all the gum and junk out of there. So the way to start off first is, if you're going to be doing an oil change, you want to have the engine warm, so same thing. If you're going to do a flush, you want to check the dipstick, make sure it's topped off, and then pour this whole bottle in. So let's get that. So here's the cap, just loosen it up. And these valve covers, I'm thinking of painting them, make them look nice. So like that. You can see it's like gummed up in there. If the camera will, you can see that in there, it's all gummed up. So I don't know what the engine looks like, but I'm going to try to clean it up as best I can. See if I can get this off. So there we go. Let's pop it in like that. And dump all this in there. Dump that in. Like that. What the hell is over here? Gotta check that out. Alright, sorry about that, guys. So now, put the cap on. And, where's the cap? Okay. Now this stuff. Now what you want to do is start the engine, run it for 5 minutes on idle, and then run it on 5 minutes under some loads around like 1,000, 2,000 RPMs under there. So let's do that. Hopefully we have enough gas. I don't even know how much gas there is. So we'll probably have enough gas though. So just let it run like that for 5 minutes straight on idle. And then after 5 minutes, put some load on it. Give it some gas, run it for another 5 minutes, and then we'll do the oil change. So, alright guys, so I have it a bit above idle. I just had it and then lost it. I have it around $1.5 grand, 1,500 RPM. I had it around there. I'm going to run it for 2 more minutes, and then I'll jack up the car and we'll do a change. So come right back when I'm done this. Alrighty guys, so that's pretty much good. Get it down to normal speed. Turn the key off. I'm going to keep the radio on. So now we're going to jack up the car and continue. So I'm going to show you guys how to jack up the car, and then we'll continue from there. Alright guys, so just before we get started, I'm going to show you some tools you're going to need. You're going to need 2 jack stands. You're going to need a jack. You're going to need some oil. I'm going to be using some Peak motor oil. The camera will focus. So I'm going to be using Peak Performance Motor Oil. It's 10W30. I don't know if it's going to save gas or not. I got the filter for it. It's I guess a wannabe Ferrari. You're going to need a rag. This is the stuff I put in. You need a wrench. I'm thinking of 15. An oil filter wrench or a plier wrench. You need a drain pan. So let's get it in position. And we're going to be jacking it up on this frame right here. You can see with the holes in where I'm cleaning that's where we're going to be jacking up on. So get it in position. So my bad, I got the car actually, I didn't put it on the subframe. Put it on this mount right here, you can see. So yeah, I just put it there, the jack stands. I didn't put it underneath. So before you get underneath, for safety, just shake the car left and right, and if it's wobbly, do not get under it. Careful what you guys are doing, be safe. This is, you're jacking up a car. This falls, it could crush you, depending how low the car is. So I'm gonna get the creeper, And we're going to get under the car, get your drain pan. Get a drain pan at least that can handle more than 4.5 liters of oil like this one can, because that's how much oil you're going to be having coming out. So, let's get underneath. First we're going to take the drain plug out. Alright guys, so sometimes you might need some extra leverage, but when taking it off, it's okay to use a breaker bar. When putting it back on, I do not recommend, because you can over tighten the bolt and easily strip it. And then you're going to have a lot of trouble, and you have to pull the pan off. So yeah, that's going to take a while, so just use a breaker bar to loosen it. And then after, you can use a ratchet to put it back on. Alright guys, so that didn't take a lot of effort at all. Put your drain pan underneath, and once you crack it loose, it'll just come off by hand. Be careful, this oil is hot as you just heated up your engine. Make sure the pan is ready. You do not want oil spill all over your floor or wherever you're working. And yeah, still got dirty, but a little less. So that's why you use a cloth. So oil is kind of warm. It is really black though, so it really needed to change. It was sitting for years, so I'm pretty sure they didn't change it. So let's get back over here. And you guys should come up here and loosen this cap, and it'll make the oil flow out a lot better. Alrighty, so the reason the drain cap wouldn't come off is because it broke again. This is the second one. The second one broke. This is the second one that also broke. The first one I got without the top piece, and then I got this one off the junkyard, and this one broke too. So when you see all your oils drained out, crawl back under there and reinsert your screw. Make sure you don't cross thread it, because that would be a big no-no. Alright, so put it in and slowly go. So there wasn't that much oil. I thought more oil would fit, but nope. Okay, get your wrench and just snug it up. Don't over tighten it. So that's pretty good. Get your rag and clean up the oil around there, so when you finish pouring oil in and you check underneath, so it's all dry, make sure it's not leaking. So you want to just tighten it. There's a required foot-pound to torque it, but really no one torques these. Just make sure you do not use an impact wrench to take it off or put it back in, because you will over tighten it. So yeah. Alright guys, so now the next step is to locate your oil filter and remove that as well. The reason I didn't do that right away is because the oil is going to be in the filter too. You don't want the filter to get all over, and you want to catch the oil in the filter. So as you can see, the filter is right there. In theory, it should usually come off by hand. Now this one is. I think I'm in luck. Guys. Try to catch all that. Let's see. Not to make a mess. They put the filter sometimes in the most stupidest spots. And I'm gonna go off camera right now. It's leaking all down my head. You want it to leak out so you don't get it all over yourself, like I just did. These filters are pretty big, so there's going to be a lot of fluid coming out. Just wait till it stops leaking, and then you can easily pull it out. Sorry about now. Just hold it straight so it doesn't fall to a side. And this was replaced, probably a Canadian Tire. Gotta be careful, it's all slippery now. So there it is. And yeah, a lot more oil came out of there. Get that. I usually put it in the pan as well. And I'll pull the oil filter out slowly. Look at that mess we just made. Oh, guys. Alright, so I got a leak in the little CV boot, in the tie rod, rack and pinion. not too major. So now we're gonna have to put the new filter in. Alright, new filter. Like I said, so here's our new filter. Slide it underneath. Now before you put this on, you want to dip your hand in some oil and rub it around the seal. But first you want to check up there and make sure the seal's not stuck from that old oil filter. Or you can just look on the old oil filter and see if the seal's on there. And if it is, you can continue to put some oil around this seal, put it on, and you're done. But if there's oil around, if that seal's still up there, and you put this one on, you're going to have a leak because there's not going to be sealing right. So I'm going to put some oil around and I'll come back to you guys. Alright guys, so now do the same thing. Reach up in there and put it on. Make sure it's going straight. If you only put it on a few turns, then it won't go no more. And it's really tight, then you're probably cross-threading it. Alright, so take it off. Make sure it goes in nicely all the way. I would also recommend wearing safety glasses. I don't know why I'm not. See, because there's a lot of rust that can fall off, and get your filter nice and tight. Just only hand tight, because you don't really need it no more tighter. I try hand tight, and then I use a rag, just tighten it up a bit more, and then we call it good. So I'm just going to tighten up with a bit more with a rag, and then we can continue step. Alright guys, so now what we're going to do is we're going to lower the car so you can pour the oil in, and it'll be a more accurate reading. So right now what I usually do is if I'm going to do anything else under the car, I do it right now, and then lower it. Usually when I do an oil change, I'll rotate the tires. In like the winter time, I'll always rotate them. But I already rotated them, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to drop the car, put some oil in, and we'll start her up, see how it runs. Alright guys, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pour the oil in. Like I said, I'm going to be using some Peak Performance motor oil. It's 10W30. That's the car takes. If you do not know what your car takes, your truck, or if you're doing a car or whatever, just pretty much Google it or something. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to pour 2 liters of oil in. Check the dipstick where we're at. I think this is 4.5 as in liters of oil, but I'm not sure. So I'm just going to pour in 2 liters and then start checking. So let's get that started. So I'll open up the first one. Alrighty guys, so sorry about that guys, so just keep pouring. Finish pouring that in. So I think just a little bit more and that'll do the trick. Check it out now. Alright guys, you can see it's in between. It's just off a little bit off the top mark, but that's okay, so I'm going to put it back in. I'm going to start up the engine. Actually, I'm going to check for leaks, and then I'm going to start up the truck, run it for a bit, and then check the oil again and top it off if it needs any more. And I gotta get this back in, so there we go. Check underneath if there's any leaks. We didn't do a good job. If there isn't, we did a good job. If there isn't, we did a good job. But if there is, well, you gotta figure out where the leak's coming from. There's the leak over there, but that's nothing major. That was when I left the oil from the pan. So I'll move everything that can fall into the engine and fire her up. So I gotta fix this cap and then I'll get it right. Oops, locked yourselves out. Good thing the window's open. I always have the window open just in case I lock myself out. Put the key up. I'm gonna release this parking brake. Okay. Turn the light off. And we'll see if it starts. When it starts, there's a little bit of a knocking sound when it idles up to 1,000. We're going to see the plugs. I have to swap those two and we'll see. So I got to warm it up a bit. It runs good now. I'm going to run it for a minute or two and then check the oil and top it off, and then if we did a good job, And then after, you top it off a bit more if it needs to, or if it doesn't, then leave it. And then the job is done, guys. You successfully did an oil change on your truck. Make sure to comment, rate, subscribe. I'll catch you in my next video. Have a good day, YouTube. Peace out. And there's gonna be more automotive videos coming out soon now, since I'm starting to work more on cars and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to comment, rate, subscribe. I'll catch you next one. Peace.